Bushnell. Performance is the only thing. Federal Premium Ammunition, surgical precision, terminal results. Savage Arms. Better come standard.
Hi folks, thanks for joining us here at Bushnell's Trigger Effect. This week we've got a great hunt planned for you. We're in northern Saskatchewan at Woody River Trophy Hunts, and one of the great things about this hunt is I got my good friend Everett Olsen with me. We haven't hunted together in a long time, have we, Everett?
No, Ken, it's been years since we got together to go hunting, and the opportunity come up to go to Lance's operation here. He's got great world-class whitetail, and I know we're gonna have a blast.
You bet. I know the guides are getting ready and getting geared up, so we got to get into our hunting gear, and we're going to go out into the field here right away, so you're not going to want to miss this. Well, we made it here to Woody River Trophy Hunts. Lance has got us all set up right away here. We had a quick bite to eat. We threw all our gear in our rooms. Great accommodations here. Got all our stuff stowed away, and now we're all going to be heading out for our first evening hunt. So it's been kind of a flurry since we arrived, but it's looking like it's going to be great. We've got a little bit of overcast skies, some light snows coming down. The deer should be moving tonight, so hopefully we'll get out to the blind here right away and get us a big buck down. Well, we're just dropping off one of the other clients that's in camp. He's going to be sitting in a ground blind here as well. And Everett and I are both lined up, got our guns lined up, ready to rock and roll. It's looking like it's going to be a good evening. The snow is pretty nice. We already saw some fresh tracks in the snow. There's rubs everywhere in here. Lance figures the bucks will be moving pretty good with the snow, so we're the next to get dropped off and sit there till dark, I guess. You shoot the big one?
We'll see.
I have literally known Everett my whole life. We were childhood friends, grew up together through good and bad. Everett has shot some amazing Manitoba whitetail bucks, but I know he did his research, and I really want to see him harvest a true Saskatchewan giant.
So Everett, have you hunted with Lance before?
Oh, first time.
First time. So what made you pick Lance out of everybody else?
I was just searching around on the computer one night there and come across him and got in touch with him and talked to him for a few days and decided, why not? I'll come up here. I liked what I seen.
Yeah.
Looks like he's got lots of smashers up here.
Yeah, he does. He's got some tremendous deer here. So Lance was good enough to say, well, if your buddy Kent wants to come along and film in this hunt, then bring him along. So here I am. We're gonna hopefully get a couple big smashers on video here, and I mean, it's our first day here. I mean, we just finished eating lunch and got our gear put together, and we're out in the blind already. I mean, he runs a great operation.
No doubt.
Yeah, so I guess we'll get the camera spun around, get it pointed down the shooting lane, and hopefully set it out and see what happens our first evening. Right on, buddy. That's pretty cool, Everett?
That was a lot of fun right there.
Yeah, like those two bucks were in behind the clearing, and you could hear them sparring. The one big wide one is still out in front here, but he's just a basic 4 frame, isn't he?
4 with a couple of kickers on it. He's got one drop time from what I see.
Yeah, he's tremendously wide.
He's pollinated on the G2s.
Yeah, he's a super looking deer, and that other buck has got the potential to be an absolute massive hog, but I think he's still pretty young. He's got a great frame. He's starting to get some mass to him, but I think he's a younger buck, so, I mean, again, this is our first evening, so we can be a little bit choosy.
I would say, yeah.
Yeah, we got lots of time.
This segment is brought to you by Westside Stores, your outdoor sports authority, and Safari Club International Canada, first for hunters.
Well, it's morning 2 of our hunt. We're back in our same spot that we were last night. It's looking pretty good. We got in here before it got too light, so hopefully things will start moving around. And that big guy will give us a look, won't he?
Well, I hope so.
Yeah, there's some really nice bucks here, so we're just being a little bit choosy right off the bat here. But it's a nice morning, it's nice and calm, there's no wind, there's a fresh skiff of snow, so gonna get the lights shut off and the camera spun around and get ready for another day here at Woody River Trophy Hunts. Everett and myself questioned our judgment every time we turned down one of these amazing Saskatchewan bucks. However, Lance had showed us trail camera pictures of the bucks in the area, and there are some true giants. We knew we had to be selective, and it would only be a matter of time before one of them would show up that we just couldn't pass on. Well, we had a pretty interesting morning. Wasn't as exciting as last night, but still it was a great morning. We had 4 different bucks come through, and just not finding the one that we're looking for. There's definitely good bucks in here. I mean, these bucks are big, but we're looking for a particular one, so we're gonna probably get picked up here pretty soon. Lance will come in, pick us up, we'll go back to the lodge, have a good lunch, and be back out for another afternoon hunt. Hey, David? It's looking pretty good, so we're pretty happy with this spot. It's lots of deer activity, so we just got to put in the time.
Exactly.
Well, we're back in for another evening sit. We got everything all set up. We got the cameras all positioned. Now we just need the deer to start showing up, so it's another good evening. It's about -2 or 3 degrees, I think. Slight breeze. Perfect conditions. What do you think, Everett?
About as good as it can get.
About as good as it can get. That is what Everett figures, so it's good.
Okay, here comes one.
One of the great things about hunting from a box blind is observing deer behavior. We are hunting the pre-rut, and the bucks are just starting to display some of that rut behavior. However, the majority of their activity consists of wandering around, periodically feeding, and strengthening their neck muscles by working out on trees. It really slowed up this evening. We haven't had anything come by in a couple hours, so I don't know, the deer maybe know something we don't. Maybe there's a storm rolling in. Who knows? But it sure got quiet this evening, so we got at least 15 minutes left, and then we're gonna have to pack the cameras up and call for a ride home. So it was still a good set, wasn't it, Everett?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we heard Mike shoot, so kind of excited to get back to camp and see what Mike got. Anyhow, we'll get the camera spun back around and hopefully finish off the evening with a big bang.
congratulations. That's a heck of a buck.
That's going to be interesting to see what he looks like when you get up close to him.
Yeah, you bet. Right on, buddy. Well, Everett, we may as well just go over and take a look at your buck. No sense calling Lance.
No, he's going to be here in 15 minutes. We'll have a look.
Yeah, that's right on, buddy. Good job.
That was kind of funny, though. The buck comes in and then a raccoon goes running by.
Yeah, that was cool. Well, congratulations, Everett. That is one unbelievable non-typical. Look at that deer, that big drop tine.
That's off my bucket list now.
All this junk. I mean, he's kind of lopsided. He's way heavy on that side. Oh, hey, buddy. Congratulations.
Thanks, man.
That is one beautiful, big, non-typical whitetail. Right here at Woody River Trophy Hunts. Unreal deer at this place. You gotta come here.
For sure.
Wow, great job. When wildlife managers are looking at a population of deer to see if it's healthy or not, they're not just looking at whether they have adequate deer numbers. What they're looking at is the female to male ratios and whether they're sufficient enough. This, in biological terms, is called buck to doe ratio.
Buck to doe ratios can come in various forms, but the most commonly accepted form is counting the number of adult does to the number of adult bucks and putting together as a ratio. So if we take a hypothetical population, say of 125 adult deer with 100 does and 25 bucks, we'd have a ratio of 1 to 4. So in theory, every 5th adult deer you encounter in the field would be a buck. Some people might ask, what's the ideal ratio? Well, for most people, getting that ratio down to the 1 to 1 area is pretty nice, especially for a hunter who wants to see more bucks. It's really important to note here, though, that when we talk about ratios, we're not talking about density. So you may see more bucks proportionally on the landscape, but you're not necessarily going to see more deer in total.
Having a big imbalance between bucks to does is almost as bad as having either low populations or inadequate habitat for that herd.
While high proportions of bucks can be considered a real positive for hunters, overly high proportion of does can be considered a negative in a different way. When we have too many does, we might not have enough bucks to go around to breed all of those does during their first estrus or heat cycle. This can result in does having to go through multiple cycles, which costs more energy, but also, and probably more importantly, it results in does having fawns later the following spring. This can result in smaller deer when they get to be mature, and especially in the case of bucks, but it can also throw off strategies used to minimize predation by fawn predators in the spring. In addition, lower buck numbers tend to result in less aggressive behavior amongst bucks because there's less competition. And what this means for hunters is you often have bucks that are less responsive to both calling in the form of grunts as well as rattling. In this way, responsibly managing buck to doe ratios is an important part of a deer herd management strategy, both in terms of increasing hunter success and enjoyment, but also in terms of ensuring productivity of the population.
So just remember, the next time you see an open doe hunting season or there's doe draws available in your area, there's probably bigger things in play, more than just hunter opportunity. Good chance is the wildlife managers are trying to establish a very healthy buck to doe ratio in your area. Well, folks, we're back in our favorite blind. I mean, Lance has got some great blinds set up. He's got lots of deer, but it's hard to leave this spot when we've seen some tremendous bucks at this spot. So Everett got a fantastic buck with great character, great big drop tine on the one side yesterday. So we're back out here at the same spot. Everett's behind the camera today. I'm going to be behind the gun, so hopefully we can get one of those big, majestic Saskatchewan bucks to come back out. Just heard some sticks breaking over to the right here, so we might have some deer coming in. Well, it looks like we've had one of our slowest mornings here at Woody River Trophy Hunts. It's part of hunting. I mean, you get them some days,
you don't get them the next day. So it's a really good spot. We've seen some really good bucks here. So we're gonna probably pack things up, head back in for a quick lunch, and be back out for another evening sit later on today. So it's just the way it goes.
This segment is brought to you by Gold Tip. Start tough, stay true. Taxidermy services provided by Hunters Union and Ray Weens Taxidermy. And thanks to these other fine sponsors.
Lance's operation is located along the banks of the magnificent Woody River, which wanders its way through Saskatchewan's mighty Porcupine Provincial Forest. Woody River trophy hunts offer whitetail hunts of a lifetime. Everett and I would sincerely like to thank Lance and his family for their generous hospitality.
Well, it's another great morning here at Woody River Trophy Hunts. The guys have been putting us on big deer all week long, so I think we're going to try a different spot this morning, change up the scenery a little bit. There's been a lot of buck activity at some of these other locations, so we're going to go check those out and maybe put a big buck down this morning. So the guys getting everything geared up, and we're going to be taking off here right away.
It was the second last morning for me to connect on my Saskatchewan whitetail. I knew today was going to be a full day sit, as I wanted to maximize my opportunity to connect on a great buck.
Hopefully this morning we'll get a nice big buck that I'm looking for. Come out and we can get this wrapped up. It's just starting to get light, so we're going to spin the camera back around out the window of the hut here and get ready for action-packed morning. That is a pretty deer. Big, tall, high 8. Got a little bit of character, got a little bit of junk on him. He just snuck in behind at the back of the clearing, come out, and then whistled through. So yeah, that was a cool deer.
The early morning soon changed to midday, and then that started to wear into the evening. Everett and I used the time to talk about old memories and also some new ones. However, we both kept our eyes peeled looking for the slightest movement. Then, as it typically happens, when you least expect it,
Here comes a buck. That's a good buck. I'm gonna take him.
Well, there's one of the bucks I was looking for. He's got lots of mass, he's tall, he's got lots of character. The setting is unbelievable. It is solid timber, woods here along the Woody River. Yeah, it's a tremendous hunt. I can't say enough about this place. Lance has got a really great operation here. I am super stoked about that buck. That is a big deer. Boy, that was awesome. Oh, that's pretty neat to have those caliber of bucks around here. I mean, I've passed on some really good ones, just looking for that one that just makes me go, oh my, that's what I want. There was a typical 5x5 earlier that I kind of messed up on, and then this guy showed up, and he was one of those bucks that you just go, oh my. So let's get over and take a look at him. Well, this has to be one of the best places I've seen for trophy whitetail deer, bar none. Look at that beast. That is an incredible whitetail. I couldn't be happier. Woody River Trophy Hunts. You got to give Lance a call. You want the chance to shoot a caliber buck like this, you got to give him a call. He has the bucks. He has the territory. You won't go wrong. I am super pumped. This is probably my biggest buck to date. Look at that guy. Well, folks, I hope you enjoyed that episode. We had a ton of fun up here. We got some tremendous bucks, and I tell you what, Lance puts on a great operation.
Oh, for sure, Kent. This was amazing. It was a ton of fun. Met some great people.
You bet.
Seen a lot of really good bucks. So.
You bet. There's a ton of deer here, and I can't wait to come back. Well, we want to thank all our viewers for watching. Especially want to thank all our sponsors for making this happen. And make sure you join us next week for more Bushnell's Trigger Effect.